A huge controversy has developed over actress Lena Dunham and what some are saying is her admission that she sexually abused her own sister when she was a little kid. This started on the right, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't really care where it started. I want to analyze the claims that are being made based on the facts that we have. However, it was Kevin Williamson, a columnist for the right-leaning National Review, who accused Lena Dunham of sexually abusing her sister in her new memoir, Not That Kind of Girl. And Williamson pointed to this passage where Dunham points to how she sexually experimented with her little sister, Grace. And here's what Kevin Williamson wrote. Dunham writes of casually masturbating while in bed next to her younger sister, of bribing her with, quote, 3 pieces of candy if I could kiss her on the lips for 5 seconds, anything a sexual predator might do to woo a small suburban girl, I was trying. At one point, when her sister is a toddler, Lena Dunham pries open her vagina. My curiosity got the best of me, she offers, as if that were an explanation. Then, right-winger Ben Shapiro published something called Lena Dunham Describes Sexually Abusing Her Little Sister. The author, Bradford Thomas, wrote, in one particularly unsettling passage, Dunham experimented with her 6-year younger sister's vagina. This was within the spectrum of things I did. In the collection of nonfiction personal accounts, Dunham describes using her little sister at times essentially as a sexual outlet, bribing her to kiss her for prolonged periods, and even masturbating while she is in the bed beside her. Now, Lena Dunham has responded to these allegations on Saturday, saying, the right-wing news story that I molested my little sister isn't just LOL, it's really effing upsetting and disgusting. And by the way, if you were a little kid and never looked at another little kid's vagina, well, congrats to you. Usually this is stuff I can ignore, but don't demean sufferers. Don't twist my words. Back the F up, bros. I told a story about being a weird 7-year-old. I bet you have some too, old men, that I'd rather not hear. And yes, this is a rage spiral. Then Lena Dunham's own sister tweeted a response to the controversy. This was yesterday. And she said, heteronormativity deems certain behaviors harmful and others normal. The state and media are always interested in maintaining that. As a queer person, I'm committed to people narrating their own experiences, determining for themselves what has and has not been harmful. Okay, listen. I don't care about the politics here whatsoever. Let's analyze this for what it is. The actions described by Lena Dunham in the memoir that she wrote, at first glance to me, certainly strike me as sexual abuse. Agree or disagree, Lewis?
I would agree, but consider that we're talking about like a 6-7-year-old kid here.
Right. So that's the next layer, which is it abuse if it's a kid doing this to another kid? And because of the world I'm in and the people I know here in New York City, I know, and because of my family, I know many, many psychiatrists and psychologists and social workers, etc. And when I've talked to them about the story, you're not talking about a pedophile here. You're not talking about an adult child sex abuser. That's true from a legal perspective. But you're still talking about behavior, which, if seen in a 7-year-old, the right thing to do would certainly be to treat that as sexual abuse and to get that child into therapy right away. So the excuse that I've seen that because it's a 7-year-old, the behavior is not really abusive is one that seems to be outside of the spectrum of the mental health community.
I mean, certainly the child in question here didn't know it was abuse and had no, it wasn't malicious. And
that's the next thing. Let's talk about that. The sister said, just because someone else has established that this is abuse doesn't mean that it is. This, if we take that statement and expand it broadly to victims of abuse, many victims of sex abuse who are victims while they are children will later in life say, you know what? I don't really think it was abuse. I don't see it as abuse today. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't traumatic or abusive. This isn't about telling other people what they should feel. But oftentimes, saying that something that happened wasn't really abuse or didn't really hurt them is part of a defense mechanism. And I'm really having a big problem with how this is just kind of being written off as it was kids and the sister doesn't think she was abused, so let's close this up. I think this is a pretty serious thing.
Well, we still have to take her word for it, the sister's word for it. If the sister
that she doesn't feel that it was abuse.
right.
And I
So
don't deny that she doesn't feel that way, but we need to explore why it is that that's how she feels.
That's perfectly fair. Yes.
All right.